The race to fill the seat of retiring Ohio Senator Rob Portman has been one of the most watched races in the country, and both candidates say they feel good about their chances in becoming the next senator from Ohio.
I see the president of the United States taking this country in a very bad direction.
I'm going to fight like hell for people in Steubenville and in Southeast Ohio, and we're ready to rock and roll. We're gonna try to bring some people together, stop the stupid fights.
Congressman Tim Ryan was first elected to the U.S. House of Representatives in 2003 and has been reelected 9 times. He is now serving in his 10th term representing Ohio's 13th district. We spoke about the economic development in his district, which includes the Voltage Valley, centering on electric vehicle manufacturing at the former General Motors Lordstown Assembly Plant and battery manufacturing.
That's what I want for Steubenville. That's what I want for all areas of the state. And I'm going to fight like hell. I was doing that for my congressional district. Now I'll be able to do that for the whole state of Ohio.
Ryan says he's been reaching out to what he calls the exhausted majority in the Buckeye State throughout his campaign, and that he has broken from party ranks on a variety of issues, including challenging Nancy Pelosi in the race for Speaker of the House and agreeing with former President Trump on being tough on China.
Let's vote for an Ohioan. Let's vote for someone pragmatic who wants to represent the exhausted majority of Democrats, Republicans, and independents.
This is the first time that J.D. Vance has run for office. The venture capitalist is the author of the best-selling book Hillbilly Elegy that was later turned into a movie. If elected, he wants to work on opening up energy production in the Ohio Valley and across the state.
We've got a lot of resources, especially when it comes to natural gas, especially in eastern Ohio, right? Steubenville could be really at the center of the Saudi Arabia of natural gas if Joe Biden allowed us to open up pipeline capacity, open up drilling leases and permitting.
One of the main concerns Vance said he has for the state and the country are the rising prices and inflation, with folks making the same amount of money but seeing their dollar only go half as far as it once did.
We just need a president of the United States who's more invested in the energy economy of his own country. It would accrue greatly. The benefits would accrue greatly to the people of Ohio, all across our state, and really all across our country, because lower prices are better for everybody.
Taking a look at the Real Clear Politics average, it takes an average of all polling data that is available. J.D. Vance has a slim lead over Tim Ryan. J.D. Vance 48%, Tim Ryan 44.7%. This is both men craft that final argument to voters with the most important numbers coming in next Tuesday night.
And I just want people in Steubenville and the surrounding areas to know I will not forget you. I come from a place just like yours. I fought for working people in the Youngstown area my whole career. And when I get to the Senate, you are the agenda for me.
I guess I'd just ask, do you think the country's headed in the right direction? Have you gotten better off over the last couple of years? Have the policies of the Biden administration been good for you and your family? And I think for most Ohioans, the answer is no.
The two candidates were spending the final days of the campaign across the state, with Tim Ryan on a bus tour, and a rally hosted by former President Donald Trump will take place on Monday in Dayton in support of J.D. Vance. Reporting for News 9, I'm Tyler Madden. Hey, Dylan, Congressman Ryan joined on the campaign trail today in Steubenville by Senator Sherrod Brown. This is Ryan makes that final pitch to voters with the election just a week away.
I'm running for places like Steubenville, let people here know they're not going to be forgotten. I'm going to fight like hell for them.
Congressman Tim Ryan was introduced by Senator Brown at the event in Jefferson County. They both spoke about the pro-worker agenda they would take on as a team if Ryan was elected to the Senate. Ryan, currently on a bus tour crisscrossing the state, he said it was important to stop in Steubenville. Do you feel that maybe this time of year that some candidates, other candidates might look past Steubenville, forget about them, maybe take them for granted in certain instances?
I think Vance certainly has. I mean, he's not really been here. I've been here, I came 10 times, in the last year and a half, because I care about the people here. And I know that's not always the cool thing to say, but I do. I got in this business to help the people of Youngstown and the people of Steubenville.
Ryan spoke about being a major proponent of the natural gas industry and worked to get provisions in the recently passed Inflation Reduction Act to help that industry. He also wants to work to streamline the permitting process to pump more natural gas.
He clearly understands what's happened to Steubenville, the lost jobs, the ignoring from state government and from the federal government.
This is both candidates in the race to fill the seat that will be vacated by retiring Senator Rob Portman craft their final argument in the campaign's final days.
This contrast is so clear. If you want a pro-worker senator to join me in Washington, you vote for Tim Ryan.
And what's happened to our communities has been devastating for the last 30 or 40 years. I will take on Democrats. I will take on Republicans. I'll take on anybody who's messing with the Steubenvilles of the world, and I have no bones about that.
Now, this is not the first time that these two men have been on the campaign trail together, as Senator Brown endorsed Ryan's bid for the Senate outside of the Steubenville Fire Department last October. Reporting in Steubenville, I'm Tyler Madden for News 9. Hey Adam, we're here in Boardman, Ohio, just outside of Youngstown. Now this banquet hall is playing host to Senate hopeful Congressman Tim Ryan and his camp as they await polling numbers to start coming in as the polls close in the state of Ohio at around 7:30. Now Congressman Ryan has been crisscrossing the state the last number of days, making that pitch to that exhausted majority of voters across the state, that mix of Democrats, Republicans, and independents. Now this race has been one of the most watched Senate races in the country, as that slim balance of power already exists in the upper chamber. One race could decide who would have power going into the United States Senate in the year 2023. So the festivities set to begin here at around 7 o'clock. We're not sure exactly when we might hear from Congressman Ryan, but of course we will be here throughout the evening and keep you updated on any of those details as they become available. But reporting in Boardman, I'm Tyler Madden. We'll send things back to you guys. Hey, Rich and Jamie, good evening to you both. First arrived here on scene, we could see one home clearly fully involved with flames coming out of the top through the roof. And let me step out of the way and take a look at exactly what we're seeing now. There was a ladder that was up there, and that you can see that teal-colored, bluish-colored home in the middle. You can see the smoke damage, the fire damage on top there. That's the home that neighbors tell me was fully involved. And in speaking with neighbors in a little bit amount of time that we've been here on scene, they're telling me that the home on either side of that home that was fully involved also saw some damage. Not sure to exactly what extent that damage is, but there was a ladder that was over that main home that was shooting water down in through the roof into the home to try to put out those flames. That has since been brought back down, and there's no more water at this time being put onto that main home, the one that neighbors tell me was the one where this fire culminated that was fully involved. With those neighbors telling me that, again, those homes on either side saw damage from those flames. That main home, Steubenville Fire Department, on scene, along with Wintersville's Fire Department, also Steubenville Police Department here on scene. Now, we've been trying to get information, but again, this has been such a very active scene. We haven't been able to talk to any officials yet to get an assessment on exactly the extent of the damage that we're seeing here. But again, it looks that one home was fully involved and also some damage on the surrounding home. So we're going to stay here on scene and see if we can learn any more information. We'll keep you updated as we learn more, but for now, we're live here in Steubenville. Tyler Madden, News 9. Attorney General David Yost says his office is closely involved in pending litigation over the future of the Cross Ridge landfill site in Jefferson County. I first spoke with him on the issue when he traveled to the site for a tour a few months ago.
There's an area on the backside where you can actually see the leachate. I mean, it looks like some kind of a horror movie.
That's Attorney General David Yost reacting to what he saw at the Cross Ridge landfill following a tour of the site back in May, prior to a hearing on the matter in June. His office still involved in litigation over the future of that site, and I continued that conversation with the Attorney General at his office in downtown Columbus.
After we talked, we had a court hearing. The owners of the landfill have been held in contempt at this point. There's another hearing set for October where the judge will decide what to do about that. This thing's been going on long enough. It's time for us to get to some kind of a solution.
The site's still a constant concern for local health officials that accompanied the Attorney General on his tour. They say how a landfill is shut down is very important for the future of nearby areas.
Post-closure care at a landfill is vitally important to the residents surrounding that landfill, and in this case at Cross Ridge, those who live downstream from a landfill.
Henry says things including air and ground pollution levels need to be constantly monitored at the site. Those concerned heighten as the site sits.
There's a lot of work that needs to be done, so the longer that property basically sits idle, for lack of a better term, the longer we're going to have to deal with the environmental concerns. Our biggest concern is getting those environmental issues that are there today addressed.
New signs now line the road near the site, highlighting neighbors' long-standing concerns. Working towards that solution, we hear very frequently from neighbors in that area about their concerns. What's your message to those residents that are constantly voicing those concerns about that landfill?
Well, we hear you, and we're concerned about what's leaching out of that place. We're on the case, and we're not going to give up until we're done. we're hopeful that in October we make some progress forward.
We reached out to the lawyers representing the owners of the site but have not heard back. We will keep you updated on this case as any new details emerge leading up to the October hearing date. Reporting in studio, I'm Tyler Madden for News 9. We're getting reaction from leaders across Steubenville from that video that was posted on social media involving a Steubenville police officer. We talked to the councilman whose ward that incident took place in, along with a local pastor.
It was very, not just unfortunate, it was very, very harmful, and I think traumatic to a lot of the young people.
Pastor Dudley says she was concerned by the video posted showing an altercation between a teenager and a Steubenville police officer. The incident taking place outside the Maryland Market in the Lay Bell section of Steubenville.
Let's use this as an opportunity to dialogue between law enforcement and the community, because obviously we see through different eyes.
The altercation taking place in the ward that Councilman Tracy McMenamin represents.
I did see the video. The video did disturb me. I'm not going to, sugarcoat that at all. But I think we just have to wait and find out what's the backstory.
Councilman McMenamin says having police officers more visible in the community is one way to move forward.
And I think we just have to make everybody more visible, and I think we have to sit down. But I think most importantly, like anything else, whether it's a family or a situation like this, it's all about the communication. And I think that has to be, the doors have to be open, it has to be easy to communicate, and it has to be true, honest communication as well.
Including a conversation between residents in the community and law enforcement.
We need to have a dialogue where the community understands how the police officer viewed this situation and what he felt was necessary. And then we need to have an opportunity as a community to voice our understanding of what this appeared to be. Let's talk in our community about what we can do to prevent this kind of encounter.
Reporting for News 9, I'm Tyler Madden. Residents within the city of Steubenville recently addressing city council, voicing their concerns over what they call lack of upkeep in the North End ball field.
You got weeds overgrown everywhere. The place needs painted up. Come on now, that's the gateway to Steubenville.
We have nothing for these kids. My 8-year-old said to me, I told you, honey, they don't do the ball field. They don't care about us down there.
Residents Tuesday night frustrated over the condition of the North End ball field. This, as the African American Heritage Festival is just a week away.
I hope that they have it up to par around the time of the festival, and even after that they keep it up and let this be a normal routine alongside of all the other parks that they take care of.
Those in the North End say the park is essential to kids in the neighborhood.
It's important for the kids. The kids play here. They have to have a great field. When they have baseball games, softball games, we have a park for the kids that needs to be maintained. Have to make sure that, we don't have any unwanted things in the ground and the gravel for the kids not to touch.
I asked Councilman for the 4th Ward Royal Mayo about concerns raised over the field. So you're in this role now as a councilman. What are some things that you're looking at that the city could do to keep the maintenance up on this field, keep this field maintained all year round?
Well, if you go to the other parks, it's just priorities. If you say you're going to cut the parks, then you got to put this park in the rotation. You can't cut it only because the African Heritage Fest is coming up. You can't clean it up only when you have an event coming up. The kids are here every day.
Council has discussed over the last number of weeks the potential of hiring more workers for various departments to assist in projects like this. Maybe hire some seasonal workers even too that are throughout the summer to try and get some of those various little projects done.
Well, normally, even when I was a kid, through a youth program that you would work for the city, and I think they still do that. But it's just where you put those employees once you get them.
Council will begin in August digging into those American Rescue Plan funds, looking to see where the money will exactly be allocated to, and a discussion has been putting a portion of that money towards the city's parks. Reporting in Steubenville, Tyler Madden, News 9.